Hi, this is Kelley Mathews with Faith Village, and I am interviewing Scott Turansky, author of the Christian Parenting Handbook.
Well, I understand this is launch week, so I want to ask you a few questions about a parenting book. Why another parenting book? There's so many.
Well, I've written 12 books. This is the 12th book on parenting that I've written, and the goal of this book is really to help parents have 50 heart-based strategies to work with their kids to reach the heart. I find that a lot of parenting books that are out there focus on behavior modification, getting the right actions down with their kids. What we've tried to do in this book is give parents 50 different strategies. We've been doing this for about 25 years, Joanna and myself, and as we've been doing this, we've gathered all these ideas, so we put them in the book, and this one has 50 small chapters. And each chapter contains a scripture passage, and it contains a specific idea that help parents move past just the behavior to get down to the heart of their kids.
So that's what you mean by heart strategies. Are these the same as teachable moments?
Well, teachable moments are important because at a teachable moment, your child is receptive to a message that may come. And those are heart moments. We talk about those. But we're talking about helping children change their hearts in a number of different ways. Sometimes it's going to happen through just an opportune moment like that, but sometimes it happens through firmness. Sometimes it happens through correction. Sometimes it happens through practicing instruction with your kids or even reading the Bible to your children. Any of those things can reach the child's heart in a strategic way.
So you're talking more help towards character development and spiritual development.
Yeah, I would say the word character is the word used in the Bible, and so we like to use that word. We also call them heart qualities inside of a child. Here's what we do. We take a child from where he is at point A. Point A is the problem. He's unkind to his sister, or he's disrespectful, or some problem that he has, and we're trying to move him over to point B. Point B is the place where we're going. That's where the heart quality is we're trying to develop, and then the strategies are going to move us from point A to point B. How are we going to get there with this child?
Okay, so you said 25 years with you and Joanne. Can you explain to our viewers who Joanne is?
Joanne Miller is the co-author working with me on this book. She is a registered nurse. She and her husband, Ed, both work for the National Center for Biblical Parenting, as do I. And I've been working with them for many years. But Joanne and I launched the National Center for Biblical Parenting about 25 years ago. And she and Ed have 2 grown sons. My wife and I have 5 children and 3 grandchildren. And we have raised our children over the years in a cooperative way and learned a lot about parenting, not only in our own homes, but Joanne Miller and I teach parenting seminars all over the country now. So last week we were in, where were we? We were in Washington, D.C. last week. This week we're going to be in Indiana. Next week we'll be in Florida. So we are traveling all over the place teaching parenting seminars and learning not only from our own families, but learning from our counseling practice, learning from the families that we teach, and try to develop these strategies that really help parents get some leeway with their kids. Okay,
well, I wanted to ask you about the parenting, the National Center for Biblical Parenting. So let me backtrack just a bit and talk about the heart moments and the strategies. You mentioned in the book that we should prepare as parents for 3 areas of resistance.
Yes.
Do you want to share what those are?
Okay, so if we're going to have a heart-based approach to parenting, a lot of that means parents are going to have to be ready for a lot of different things. And if we have plans that we can move toward with our children, we'll be far more successful than just reacting. So we suggest that one of the ways we want to get ready to work with our children is to recognize that there are 3 basic areas where we see resistance in children, bad attitudes or resistance of some kind. One of those is when we give them an instruction that they don't want to do. The second one is when we correct them for something that they might be doing wrong. And the third one has to do with accepting no as an answer. When children have limits and they just can't accept that no, they argue or they badger or they whine. So we need to have a plan for those particular moments in family life.
Oh, as a parent of 4, I can totally relate to this. So I'll be reading more of it, I assure you. So I just wanted to hit on maybe one area of parenthood because I understand the book covers parenting children of all stages.
Yes.
Can you give me maybe an example of some encouragement you would give to a parent of a small child?
Sure. When we start with a heart-based approach to parenting, we even start in infancy. to work with that child, because here's the thing. We want to make parenting shifts along the way. In infancy, in that first year of a child's life, we are working on two primary heart qualities. That is trust and security. That's why we respond to that child when she cries. That's why we're helping that child be mobile, but put plug adapters in so that the child we're not always saying no every moment. We want children to have this sense of security and safety. That's what we're emphasizing in that early few months. But somewhere along the line, by the time those children get to be preschoolers, we have to make a parenting shift. One of the chapter titles in the book is to make parenting shifts. We make that parenting shift at the preschool years because that child can't be running the home anymore. Just because the child is crying doesn't mean we're going to stop and have the child determine the feeding schedule or the sleeping schedule like we needed to do when they were very young infants. So what we're doing is seeing a parenting shift there. We're going to see other parenting shifts as we move from the later adolescent years or later pre-adolescent years into the adolescent years. That shift is a very important one because if you're treating your 14-year-old like a 9-year-old, you're going to have problems. So we realize that those problems happen, and sometimes they happen because of the developmental considerations of the child.
Okay, good. I have children at all of those stages. So we are shifting right now with our 3-year-old, excuse me, yes, and with our almost 13-year-old.
Yes.
So very good. Okay, so let's go back to the Center for Biblical Parenting. Tell me what's your focus and how can people benefit from it?
Well, the National Center for Biblical Parenting has a website, biblicalparenting.org. We have two divisions at the National Center for Biblical Parenting. One division is working directly with parents, and we have written 12 books on parenting. We've got all kinds of curriculum that parents can use with their children to pass the faith on to them, to help children understand how to live life in a home. We've done a lot of work with parents. The other division of the National Center for Biblical Parenting is our church division. We have 110 presenters around the country who also teach parenting seminars on our behalf. So those presenters exist all over the place to make it easy for a church to say, hey, let's bring in a live presenter. And then we provide video training program for small groups. We have 5 family ministry consultants whose job is to help churches understand how do you get parents involved more. That's what we do well. We connect with parents and we help churches know how to do that, because sometimes churches have a struggle in that area. How do we get the parents involved? We've got lots of ideas to help churches do that.
Very good. Well, thank you. I do know that we have your book in our Faith Village bookstore, and I assume that it can be found pretty much at any book retailer out there. Is that correct?
It is true, and in fact, if people buy the book between April 29th and May 5th, our launch week, we're giving away $400 of free resources to every person who buys the book. We're really looking for a strong launch in this book, but they have to go to Christian Parenting Handbook.com, that website, www.christianparentinghandbook.com, in order to see how they could do that. They have to go to the main retailers like Amazon and other places and then send us their receipt, and then we give them these resources. So it's a great opportunity for people to get a lot of stuff easily just by purchasing that book during launch week.
Okay, so that would be the week that we're recording this, so we'll hopefully get this up really soon. Thanks for your time, Scott. I appreciate it.
Thanks very much for having me on. I'm really grateful.
Absolutely.